you've dreamt about for years, and there's only one thing standing in your way: getting a loan. Rest assured, United Mortgage Corporation of America is here to help make your dream a reality. Get answers, get results, get the service you deserve. What kind of loan do you have? Call now at 888-LIFE-980. That's 888-5433-980. Or go to the web at yourrealestatelife.com and take action today.
Good morning and welcome to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. Hey, this show is about actionable insight. I'm Michael Harris, mortgage loan originator, NMLS 233410, United Mortgage Corporation of America, NMLS 3189. It's Saturday. It's November 8th. Now, we got the clocks that already went back a week ago. We kind of settled into that. We kind of get used to it, But now we're ready to move your money forward. We're diving into what's moving the markets. We're fine-tuning rate strategy. We're heading into the end of the year. People think, hey, let's wrap it up. We're done, right? No, we got to start looking at things. Whether it's your home equity line of credit as went down 0.25% on the prime. Hopefully, maybe we're looking at December 10th. Percentages are a little bit low for that after what Chair Powell had said. But, we're watching these things carefully because your consumer money is getting a little bit cheaper and we can maneuver things accordingly to save money. Now, we're looking at refinancing possibilities for some because they're hanging on. You're hanging on to these lower rates, but sometimes they're costing you more money because you have other items that you're spending it on. Your discretionary isn't as high as you want it to be. We have to watch what's happening. Call me 888. Call me at 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. You can follow us online and get started at unitedforloans.com. We are for loans. We're just not for the interest that you're paying. We're also being followed on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube at Your Real Estate Life, and you can get started. Now, our show site, yourrealestatelife.com, is available. Now, our program is streamed at kvta.com for our Saturday audience. Our Sunday audience can also listen at kearth101.com. Now, we're on every other weekend on K-Earth. So that Sunday audience is streaming this program at kvta.com for Saturday at 9 a.m., or you can catch it right on our websites. We have our past programs that we post there as well. But pick up the phone, give us a call, write down the number, 888-543-3980. Now, I want to set the stage. This past week, we saw a lot of continued debate going on still about the Washington budget and all that fun stuff. We're not getting as much economic news as maybe we should be having. We talked about it last week, but, it was something mentioning that if you're in the fog and you can't quite see, you go a little bit slower. And that's what we saw now with the Fed. So without as much information in the government shutdown and everything around it with furloughs and jobs and layoffs and uncertainty, makes a difference. It does make a difference. But you can do what you can do for yourself. And that is utilizing equity, looking at home equity lines of credit to make sure you have the reserves and the available ability to utilize these less than expensive, because it's not amortized, it's simple interest. So using the simple interest at even 7, 8, 9% is cheaper than your 3% amortized mortgage. And I'd like to show you how that's done. 888-543-3980. We're seeing mortgage lenders a little bit more pricing defensive. They're looking at lowering rates in the future, but not as much as they just were recently. But we are still near looking at 12-month lows. We're watching the higher rates not allowing what is the no point or covering your fees as much because they don't want to be exposed with those higher rates in the future. Also, perhaps being refinanced out. I always like to say, marry the home, date the rate, divorce the debt. Now, I add in that last one, divorce the debt, because as you gain discretionary monies, you're able to then utilize those monies strategically to pay off interest volume. Pay off interest sooner. You do owe what you borrowed, you do owe your principal, but I'm talking about eliminating your interest footprint. So when we look at the lenders reacting, we're seeing these kind of spreads, the spreads widening because of that worrisome thought. We're looking at that 10-year treasury that got below 4, then hit up to 410, and it's been bouncing around. We're watching how that's going. We're watching how the Fed has decided to kind of pull back some of their tightening policies behind the scenes, and that's going to make a difference. So we're watching all these items. But really, what does it mean for you? It means being prepared. It's being ahead, not behind. It's having the insight and thought as we go into now mid-November, as we go into those timelines. What are you doing to prepare for the end of the year and head into 2026? What is it that you're doing for your monies, whether it's lending or positioning other debt to be in better shape? And we're finding a lot of individuals now taking action because this is the best time to do that. We're finding lending, we're able to get things closed. We're moving things through the process. Recently, I'm doing a home equity line of credit for an individual where we're able to pay off some 0% credit cards that were coming due and a large amount of interest. We were positioning the timing, pulling his existing line of credit, paying that off, actually getting a slightly lower rate than he has now, and then also gaining additional equity to pay off some of those zero cards because his investment strategies had not come to due yet. So when they do, he's able to then pay down his equity line, only pay on what he owes, but have it accessible coming in the future. Now, a lot of people ask, hey, why not a loan? Why a line? Well, a line, you pay on what you owe. A loan is amortized. Now, some of the lenders right now that we're working to, we're able to kind of recalculate based upon principal reduction. So we'd like to talk to you about that as well. So many things to talk about, so many things to do. We have Lori McShane in our third segment today. I'm excited to have her. Actually, we did have her last week. My mistake. Gosh, my head's all over the place, but I'm here to talk to you. I'm Mike Harris. More after the break.
Your equity position has started to improve? Call about the removal of your private mortgage insurance or mortgage insurance premium and save money today. Call 888-5433-980.
What if I told you everything you understood to be true about money is not? If there was a program to eliminate most of your interest in your life and pay off all your debts, personal or business, even mortgages, in as little as 1/3 to 1/2 the normal time without refinancing and without changing your lifestyle, would you want to learn more? Call 888-543-3980 and request your information today, or email at interest@aheadformoney.com. That's interest@aheadformoney.com.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. I'm Mike Harris, mortgage loan originator 233410, NMLS with United Mortgage Corporation of America 3189. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. Visit us at yourrealestatelife.com. Get started on your path and your lending decisions at unitedforloans.com. That's unitedforloans.com. Follow us on YouTube at Your Real Estate Life. Now, our audio is always available on our websites as well. You can catch it there. Fox Sports Ventura here, 1590, 94.7 KVTA, streaming at kvta.com. And our Sunday audience, when we have our Sunday program, is on K-Earth 101, 7 a.m. on Sundays. Such a pleasure to be here. So many things going on, heads all over the place today. Got a busy November schedule for myself. Going into the end of the year, and I'm making sure our clients are being looked over. We have many that are looking at equity lines. We have some that are looking at DSCR loans, debt service coverage ratio loans, which means it's an investment loan where the income on the property is offsetting the mortgage debt. We're doing that in 46 states. So I can help you with that process. We have a few reverse mortgages that we're working through, where we have one that had a home free and clear, and he's looking to utilize that capital. So he's looking to pull that money out. We're looking to get that done. Roughly somebody who was born in about 1950s. We're looking at a scenario where the home's worth 800 and change. We're looking to pull out 300 and some odd. And again, taxes and insurance are owed and paid, but the mortgage payment is an optional payment. So you worked hard for your home, it's time for your home to work hard for you. If you're 55 and over, in some states 60, some 62, depending on the program or type, we can talk to you about utilizing a reverse mortgage on your existing property or also a reverse mortgage on a purchase. We've done reverse purchases. In this market, in this time, we have a growing number of seniors who are also looking at divorce. And as they're looking to do so, a lot of times they're selling their existing property or buying out a spouse. So the qualifications on a reverse mortgage sometimes are easier than that of a traditional loan. We're trying to qualify for taxes and insurance. So in doing that, we're able to get that accomplished and done. And we're finding that a spouse can retain the property. Also, perhaps get proceeds to buy a different property. So these things are happening. So as we look at the calendar this upcoming week, it's a quieter start. There's not a lot of data being released here on Monday, but we're paying attention to global market sentiment, overnight trading in Asia and Europe, and what's going on with the bond market. We're watching these things very carefully as we start the week. On Tuesday, we have our, Veterans Day. So we'll be doing that. I'm actually going to be at an event in Pasadena, California, but we're going to be doing that day. But we have the University of Michigan preliminary reading, tells us a little bit about things going on with jobs, prices, and spending, kind of the confidence level of things. And again, we're kind of on the watch, kind of not knowing where things are with the government shutdown, and we're seeing how everything's faring up and getting back maybe into place. But we have our on Wednesday U.S. monthly budget and statement coming out, the government borrowing and treasury and issuance and all these fun little things when it comes to our government debt. Now on Thursday, it's more of a bigger one here. We have the CPI, the core CPI coming out, key inflation report. We're going to see if it's on the table. It should be, but we're seeing what will happen. Cooler data, rates can improve, sometimes quickly. But if the bond market believes the trend is real, that's really the case. And if that is the case, maybe we look at these probabilities going up for a Fed move for December 10th. We kind of cross that area where it's not as confident that it's going to be there. So we're trying to see if it etches back up. On Friday, on the 14th, we wrap up with the producer price index, retail sales. We can kind of confirm everything with the CPI. We're kind of seeing what's happening with all the volatility. Now, as interest rates improve, your bottom line can also improve when you're going through a real estate transaction. Now, a lot of lenders will say, hey, let's lock in your loan. And then they talk about a float down, where normally you're not getting all the float down. You really aren't. So I'm somebody who's watching the market and watching the market trends. The longer you lock a loan, the more money you spend to buy the money. So if you're paying an extra eighth a quarter or more in fees to buy the rate, you kind of already called it up and made it happen. If the market moves, you're doing the same thing. So you watch for large movements and the possibilities of those to protect yourself. If there's some pricing specials and other items that certain investors and items people are offering, sure. Like currently, I'm offering 40 basis points better in pricing. I'm doing that from my company point of view. So we're doing that. Purchase or refinance. So we'll chat about that. So we're a little bit below the market trend in what the published rates are that come out. And, they say, hey, rates are so-and-so on a Thursday. Well, that's not this week. It's the week before. But in general, we're running lower than those rates. But every eighth counts. On a $500,000 loan, an eighth in the rate, that could be $80 to $100 a month. It's your money. It counts. If I can save you money, that's where I'm at. I spend your money the way I spend mine, sparingly. I want value for my money, and so should you. You shouldn't settle well, okay, I'm okay. Well, no, I'm not okay. I want more. So I'm going to push for more. And if more is available, I'm going to go get it. That's what we're doing. I mean, it's a tug of war. It's a tug of war between the markets. And we're looking to gain the advantage based upon the timing of when your decisions are running. Now, on a refinance, we have time, unless there's refinance for a reason. You got a balloon payment, you got a loan that's due, you got a balance. Things happen. So we want to be ready. So my goal is to get the loan ready as fast as possible. And that means getting documentation. So understanding your setup. Are you salaried, W-2? Do you have bonus? Do you have overtime? What is your setup? Now, do you have a history of bonus and overtime? Do you have a second job, third job? Do you have a history of that? We want to make sure what's allowable income. Now, you also have, if you're self-employed, are you a corporation, an employee of your own corporation? Do you have 25% ownership in your corporation to be considered self-employed? Or do you have a K1, but you're less than 25%? So now you're really not called self-employed. Do we have a history? Are we looking at a Schedule C where you write off a lot of your income as an independent contractor? Do you have a Schedule E where maybe it's real estate? You write off a bit, maybe you have depreciation that we can add back. All these things matter. We'll look at it from the underwriting standpoint of what is allowable for income in lending terms. Now, when I talk about the Money Max account, and I talk about maximizing or minimizing your interest, maximizing your results, but by looking at that, we're looking at all monies coming in. Now, when we qualify for a loan, I go gross income. Now, when we go for the Money Max account, it's your net income because it's what you have left to spend each and every month for all your ins and all your outs. So we're looking at things a little differently. But if you got someone who's sending you money every month, that's part of your monthly intake. But I may not be able to use that to qualify for a loan. So these things matter, and changing the hat and understanding what we're talking about makes a difference. So when we look at budgeting, understanding the ins and outs, the monthly, the quarterly, the semi-annual, the annual items, it's so very important because that's the money you're spending. And what you have left allows you to take care of other items. Now, just because you have something left doesn't mean you go spend it, right? You want to make sure you're moving it accordingly. So what we've been able to do is we've been able to show individuals without changing their lifestyle, they can pay off all of their debt in as little as 1/3 or 1/2 the time. Some it's 5 to 7 years. But in doing that, we're eliminating that interest footprint. Now, when you closed on your home loan, you had a closing statement. That closing statement had on the bottom a TIP, total interest percentage. Now, that was that nasty large number, right? Oh, don't pay attention to that man behind the curtain. Okay, well, no, pay attention. So if your interest rate was over 5.2%, that number was over 100, which not only means you pay back the loan, you're doubling it up and paying that additional amount in interest. So you're paying back all the principal and doubling it up and paying all of that in interest. So if your interest rate was at 6, 7, you're paying 120, 130%. It goes up. But if you're sitting at 3%, hey, I'm not doing too bad. Well, no, you're still at 50 some odd percent interest. And I don't know about you, it's more than I leave at a tip when I go out to eat, right? I guess I'm cheap, right? No 50% tips. But it's how much is right, how much is fair, and we're bringing down that number considerably. And we kind of liken to this. Technology has changed. And when you're driving in your car, when's the last time you asked your passenger or yourself, pulling over, hopefully, when's the last time you reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a road map? Doesn't make a lot of sense this day and age, maybe for nostalgia purposes, but you have technology now, whether it's in your car, on your phone, wherever it is. You punch in a destination, you hit go, and it tells you when to turn left, when to turn right, when to make the right move. And if you miss it, it says recalculate, and it's going to get you a better result to get to your destination as fast as possible, saving you the most time, but being safe. That's what I want to do with your finances. I want to show you a way to get to your destination and be safe. Your information is not being published. Your account numbers are not out there anywhere. Your name's not there, but you have access to a daily item that's really smarter than you and me and most others in the room with us. And it doesn't talk back to you. It just gives you perfect information. It allows you to comfortably drive and realize you're not going to go run into a roadblock. And I've mentioned this many times that, you're driving down a 2-lane highway and you find out 46 miles into a 50-mile journey that the bridge is out and you got to make a U-turn. And all that 46 miles has got to be backtracked to go a different way because there's no other way. And you find all these people that were going the other way all waving, and you thought everyone was friendly, right? No, they were just trying to tell you the bridge was out, but you didn't kind of understand that until it was a little too late. How about understanding that early in the process? Saving time, saving money, and making the right decision for the right reason and not having hindsight of 2020. I want to make sure you do what you do best. And this is something that you don't have to worry about because it's going to be showing you what to do, when to do, and how to do. And I'd like to walk you through that process. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. When I look at the Money Max account and what it has done for me, I had 26.4 years on my debt, mortgage, and other items. I've refinanced and done what I've done. You kind of push out the timing and you have your affordability. You pay for the kids and you pay for college and you do all these things and you come up with your numbers. Through what I was doing personally, because, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. I'm in finance, right? I was taking myself down to 12.3 years. Very proud of that. And then when I ran into this opportunity, okay, well, I'll run my numbers. I'll take a look. All right. Okay. Same thoughts. It took me down to 7.9 years. 7.9 years. Just as an example, when you have a home loan, you pay a lot of interest early. And generally, 18 to 22 years in, you're at 50-50. Half interest, half principal. My mortgage, a number of years ago already, crossed over the 50-50 mark. So I'm paying more towards principal than interest. Still not exactly proud of that percentage, although it's a lot better than most. I didn't have to wait till year 18. I was at about year 4 when I saw that difference. Okay, I really accelerated things fast based upon being able to utilize money properly. I'd like to show you that illustration. What I can do, I can invite you to a Tuesday night webinar, Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Tuesday evening Pacific time here. I want to invite you to a webinar. I'd like to invite you by you sending me an email, interest@aheadformoney.com. When you send that, I'm going to send you back information, access. I want to send you a few different links to watch to get a little bit familiar. Not a lot to do. Just come. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to speak. You can get good information. What I'd hope to have you then realize, it makes sense. Let's get a time that we can actually chat on camera or meet, and I can sit down and we can look to input your numbers to come up with your results. It's great that we're talking about everybody else's, but that's not you. So let's find out what we can do for you. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. When you send that email, interest@aheadformoney.com, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you started. And some of you are saying, I can't go Tuesday night. I can't go online. I got things to do. Okay. So I'm going to get you my Calendly. We're going to set up a time that's convenient during the day, any evening. We'll figure it out based on openings and availability. And we're going to go ahead and have a conversation. Now, there's no commitment. It's information. I want to answer questions, provide some solutions, give some insight and some direction. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, hey, That's fine. We explored it. Maybe you leave with a few parting gifts and you're able to maneuver and do things a little bit differently than you did before. And, that's really the goal. It's getting you from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible. Whether it's getting a home loan, getting an equity line, whether it's a reverse mortgage or buying additional property. The idea is getting off the bank's plan and getting on your own plan. You want to eliminate debt to create wealth. And it's understanding that process. And you might be in the game. You might be doing something, whether it's envelope, snowball, avalanche, all these different methods and ways to pay off debt. I got it, and they're better than nothing at all. But why not do what's best for you? Let's find that out. Let's find that out together. Because I want you not only on the green, but I want you in the hole. I don't want you three putting. I want you one putting or no putting at all in the hole. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. Of lately, we've seen individuals asking about variable rate loans, adjustable rate loans again. And some of you go, oh, no, not those variables. Oh, I had one of those. Well, when rates were down quite a bit, they were really in good shape. And they also moved, when they adjusted, they moved based on the lower balance. So they were automatically adjusting, which was nice. But there's various loans that are out there now that are buy downs, 1-0 buy downs, buying it down 1% for a year, maybe 2-1 buy downs, buying it down for 2 years, 2%, then 1%. There's multiple ways to set the loans up, not just buying down the rate temporarily with points and fees. Maybe it's buying it down consistently for a period of time. So we're finding that sellers are contributing seller contributions. Those contributions are able to go as, in the past, closing costs. But in this case, they can do them as buy downs. So sometimes to market a property right now in today's market, you can actually then give money credit towards close or money credit towards a buy down for the buyer's interest rate. These things are very valuable, and they work through your realtor, your lender, partner, and you're able to then work these numbers better to market your property more effectively and stand out. So seller, lender credits enter in to buy downs and adjustables, and also for your fixed rate. We'll talk more about strategies. We'll talk more about things to come on Your Real Estate Life. I'm Mike Harris. More after the break.
Looking for a place to start? United for Loans is the place for you to start your refinance or purchase process today. Call 888-543-3980.
Yes, it's a little scary right now, but every crisis presents an opportunity. How many times have you looked back and said, why didn't I act? Do not try to navigate lending without a map. Tune in Sunday at 7 a.m. on K-Earth 101 with host and CEO Mike Harris of United Mortgage Corporation of America to discuss your real estate life. What should I do? Buy, refinance, sell, or hold? United Mortgage Corporation of America is open for business and ready to lend. Visit unitedforloans.com or call 888-543-3980.
Lending can be a bit confusing. Numbers can be tossed from one direction to another. How can you make it all stop? United Mortgage Corporation of America, unitedforloans.com can be your guide. Call directly at 888-543-3980 for what you need to know when financing a home of your dreams or commercial property. Call now at 888-543-3980 or visit at unitedforloans.com. That's 888-543-3980.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. Boy, we're already in November. We're already moving through the process. We already had our time change. We already got the extra hour. What are you done with it? It's already gone. Well, we're getting used to that already. We're moving forward. We're making decisions here at the end of the year. We're doing some of our tax prep, some of the deductions and things that we can do. And we all have to figure out a way to relax. So many decisions, so much going on, but we got to figure out ways to do that. And, I was kind of looking at some items and ways, and, you got to make some time, but whether you're reading or you're doing the right exercise. Now, a lot of people at the end of the year will go, gosh, I need to lose weight. I need to do this. I got to do that. And you come up with all these things. the thing is, you got to be able to integrate certain items to become habit, repetition. So whether you take a moment to read, maybe some do that in the evening before you go to sleep, and sometimes it makes you more tired, but you read a little, and it gets you a little bit time set aside. Maybe some quiet time. Maybe it's in the morning, you're doing some exercise. You kind of come up with that thought. Maybe it's a meditation. Many people find relaxation journaling, whether it's typing on a computer and journaling or doing it by hand. Same way that back in the days, we used to write hand notes, and those are back in vogue. Maybe it's sitting down, playing some music, putting on an earpiece and listening to that. Maybe it's doing some cooking, down to earth cooking, and getting that done. Maybe you're doing some things while you're in the kitchen cooking, participating with family. Maybe it's in the garden. Maybe you're doing some gardening. Maybe seasonal gardening makes sense, and volunteering. I remember when I did a lot of volunteering when my kids were growing up, and I helped raise money for their various programs and items. And it's very rewarding. And you also get to meet individuals and network as well. It's a possibility of learning a new skill. Maybe it is traveling. I have a busy schedule this November here and going into December, and I'm going to stay up with that. But sometimes traveling is peace of mind as well, and you're able to take a moment for yourself. So it's keeping all these things in mind. On my website, yourrealestatelife.com, we have a blog there, and I have something posted there, 10 hobbies that experts will say supercharge your productivity. Check it out. Go to yourrealestatelife.com and check out the information there on the post, and see how that fits for you. Maybe adopt maybe one or two or three at a time and see what you can do, but start making those decisions now. Don't wait till January where they all pile up and you go, oh, I can't do this. See what you can do now. One of those habits is really taking care of your finances and before they get out of hand, and you kind of pile them up and pile them up and pile them up, and you don't know where to go and what to do next, and you just guess and throw darts and do this and do that. And that's where I talk about the Money Max account, and I want to help you and guide you through that process of understanding, getting the best information possible without any pain. It's getting that information so you can use it properly. And I'd like to get you more information on that. Send me an email, interest@aheadformoney.com. Interest@aheadformoney.com. It's a perfect financial GPS program that's going to allow you to make these decisions on your own, but with the best advice possible. Really, really, really works. And you can't beat that. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. Interest@aheadformoney.com. I'll send you out information. Not too painful, very easy to watch. Some knowledge can never hurt. And that's going to allow you to navigate your future a lot better. Now, I was looking at what I had mentioned last segment regarding buydowns and adjustables. And, a lot of people say, no, just get me that fixed rate. The thing that I talked about early in the program is when you marry the home, date the rate, divorce the debt, if interest rates are still stable to down, the indexes that variables are tied to are going down, your adjustable is going to adjust and go lower because the index will be an average of 12 months and the previous 12 months goes away. So as we look to do that, it may make sense. And if fixed rates are hanging or even slightly lower, you have the ability to move sideways. Now, you do need to look at the cost associated to doing any of these items. So usually what I'm doing with our clients based on certain strategy, we're trying to close with little to no points. So if I can close a loan at no points, we didn't spend a lot of money on prepaid interest to buy a rate down. So it depends on where you are and what you're looking to accomplish. Many of our clients now have outside investments and other timing items. One is selling a home, but not quite selling it prior to buying the other. So he's looking to then put proceeds into that new loan. If interest rates are lower, maybe we can refinance. If interest rates are the same, maybe we do what is called a recast. By taking the additional monies, lower the balance, and recast the mortgage. That is possible. It's not always a refinance, It could be a recasting. So we could talk to you about those possibilities as well. There's a lot of strategies, and when somebody is waiting for you to come up with them when you don't know what they are to ask, it really is troublesome and burdensome to you. So what we try to do is find out your why and what is it you're looking to accomplish, so we can come up with some ideas and strategies and ways and things that can be considered when making the right decision. It's not like, oh, we'll just do this. Well, maybe not. So having a consultation, having a conversation, and many individuals I talk with, it's organizing where you are today, understanding what would make a move profitable, what would need to happen, where we need to get to. Some people say or look at, well, if the rates hit this number, then it makes sense. If this happens, then this will happen. But things happen that you don't necessarily count on. Market moves, various things, family decisions, or things that were not expected. Those things make a difference. And that's where I talk about utilizing your equity in your home as a safety net. You want to make sure you prepare so when you don't need, you have, and when you need, you can't get. So when you have equity in your home, I want you to consider getting a home equity line of credit that you have available, that you don't have to use, but it is available. And by having it available, when you need it, it is there. And if you don't have a balance on it, you don't have a payment, but it's there. And it's honestly cheaper than that of your credit card. So your credit card could be a 20, 30%. This could be a third of that. And if you do have a first mortgage, it may be profitable to utilize that equity line as a rinse and repeat method of lowering your amortized debt. There's a lot of strategies. They're not as complicated as they may sound, especially when you have a perfect financial GPS telling you and showing you what to do, and you're following that on a daily basis. Because if you have 6 decisions to make, you got 720 factorial math combinations to be right, perfect. And just because you get it right in 1 month, oh my gosh, you got another month coming. Oh boy. I want to make sure finances are not that difficult. I love numbers. You may not, but I do. I do place them in the middle of my desk and handle them. Most people put them off to the left, off to the right, or off their desk altogether. I don't want you to ignore them, because they'll come back even harder. And those harders aren't better. I want to make sure you save money. What you work for, you keep. And by keeping it, it's working smarter for you. So many things revolve around money these days. There's alternative monies, there's this, that, so many things. You do what you do best. This is what I do best. Let me help guide you through this process. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. Been doing this for 38 years, 19 years now plus on the radio. We'll have more right after this break.
Get pre-approved for your home purchase. Your landlord loves you. You're making their mortgage payment. Own for less than you pay for rent. Call 888-5433-980.
What if I told you everything you understood to be true about money is not? If there was a program to eliminate most of your interest in your life and pay off all your debts, personal or business, even mortgages, in as little as 1/3 to 1/2 the normal time without refinancing and without changing your lifestyle, would you want to learn more? Call 888-543-3980 and request your information today, or email at interest@aheadformoney.com. That's interest@aheadformoney.com.
Money, 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 must be funny in a rich man's world.
Welcome back to Your Real Estate Life. It's your day in real estate radio. Boy, we're on the radio here, but 888-543-3980 is our phone number. Visit yourrealestatelife.com or on our YouTube channel at Your Real Estate Life. You know, we wrap up today's program with some great information. we have a lot of questions that come in through our on-air program and also off the air. And some of these questions that we've been seeing, and I want to answer these on the air today, should I wait for rates to drop before I buy? And, if you're financially ready, it's going to cost you more to wait. Home prices, amortization, everything works against you every month you wait. As I talk to you about interest rate versus interest volume, you start on a higher amortized debt. And if we can show you a way to start pounding into that and paying off principal sooner, you gain equity. If everyone else was waiting and then everyone else got in, or more people got in, the prices wouldn't necessarily be going down, they'd be going up. So whether you're spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $50,000 more on a property, you could have already married that home at that price, gain the rate, and if rates go down, you could always redo that rate, as I talked to you about, getting the rate and not necessarily doing prepaid interest by paying a lot of points or fees. You can plan for that next step. And if it never happens, you just saved that money initially. But to buy down that rate with your own money, sometimes it takes not only 2 years, but 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years before you'll love me. I don't want you to wait that long. It's going to take you time on that buy down to get there. So we look at the math. We look at the numbers. It's so important to understand these items, especially now as it's near the end of the year. A lot of people that have their homes listed are there for a reason. You might get that right transaction at the right time. If the home is what you like and you qualify, the time is now. We want to get you pre-approved. We want to take a look at everything, all the numbers, no surprises. When we get loans approved, we have no conditions. That's our goal. We gather the right documentation. We want to understand and be ready to go. Now, looking at the next question that came up here as I was on the computer looking at email, if inflation data is hot this week, what happens to my refinance plan? Okay. Well, if you got hot inflation, bond yields rise. That pushes mortgage rates up. So the whole goal right now, the Fed is that one of their mandates is to bring down inflation. They also look at employment. So depending upon if inflation's higher or not, we look at we're looking at things with tariffs. All these things matter. And where we are in your closing process, that's where I kind of keep an eye on things to understand what's happening, so we can make the decisions about locking a rate or not locking a rate. And so many individuals that I've ran into, clients that are not mine, locked in a rate, and then all of a sudden rates got better. Oh my gosh. And sometimes it was too late to get a betterment. I actually have 2 individuals calling me now in the last week that closed with somebody else. And now they also now want to refinance right away because rates are already lower. They closed because they had to, timing, but now they want out. And I try to advise them, sometimes you need to hold on to that loan for a period of time and common courtesy, industry courtesy. No, I want out. I didn't want, okay. So some of those are the pitfalls of not being prepared properly, because the person who closed them may eventually have what is called an EPO. They may have a buyback because the loan was not in service at least 6 months. These things are important in the lending side of the business. They truly, truly are. So we want to make sure we're watching these very carefully. It's so very important. One of the other questions that I have here is about property taxes. We already passed November 1st, and property taxes are due November 1st. No, they're not. They're due December 10th. No, they're late December 10th. Property taxes. Now, many of you are paying property taxes on your own twice a year, not equal, because the other ones are due February 1st, late April 10th. But you have what is called impounds. You pay monthly on your mortgage statement. So some of you get a statement, some go online, but you want to make sure the amount that's being collected covers your tax bill. Many of you who had bought a home, you may have what is called a supplemental tax because your tax rate was based upon the assessment of the previous owner. So you want to make sure it is being collected properly. So you're not having a shortage. All of a sudden you get a thing saying, oh, your impound account is short. All of a sudden you get this big bill. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? So you're never going to get a holiday to your taxes. You're going to owe what you owe. So make sure it's accurate. And if it's not, make sure you allocate it accordingly so you're not surprised. But taxes are due. They're late December 10th. Those of you who have impounds, take a look at your monthly statement in November. More than likely, you're going to see that coming out of that month's statement. Make sure that's happening. Although, yes, you have impounds, you just don't want to have a late. You don't want to mess with that. So just take a look at that as well. Other question I have is, what should I focus on before year end? I always like to take a look at your income and your setup, making sure you're keeping your year-end pay stubs as you go to the end of the year. They have breakdowns of your pay, your bonus, your overtime, various other items that are more pertinent to consistency, whether you're buying this year, next year, or even the year after. Those items will show in the breakdown because getting an employment verification this day and age is a little bit more difficult than I'd like to see. And many of them it's difficult because they're charging a fortune. Many companies now have gone through separate outside agencies and places in order to get your verification done. And it's not the person sitting behind the desk in your HR anymore or your supervisor. We try to sometimes push for that, but sometimes that's not good. But when we ask for some of these things, they could run $200 and some odd just to verify your employment. Holy cow. And you're saying, I'm here. Yeah, I know you're there. But for the loan's sake of it, we need the breakdown, the history, that. So that's where I ask you to keep your year-end pay stub. Help me out. So if we just leave it now to verify I'm here and not all the money side of it, because we have your current pay stub year to date, we would have your year-end pay stubs for the previous 2 years. That's going to show us consistency to utilize that income. So that's really important. When you're doing a transaction and you own real estate and you bought or sold during the course of a year, but a tax return does not show that because it happened this year, not last year, then I need to know the closing statements and know the items to know what was acquired, what was sold, the proceeds, and all those items. Those are important as part of the transaction before you file for 2025. So the transactions you did in 25 are important to understand. Capital gains. When we look at withdrawals, people who retire and pull out money from an account and they pull out annually, it's showing that annual or monthly pullouts of money and the consistency that it will continue, and the amount of money in the account shows that it's going to last for 3 years. There's so many different levels of verification, but I recommend coming to year end, you keep certain records and plan on keeping them at least a few years. You should be keeping them for at least 7. But if you keep those years to verify, or those end of the year items, so we can handle that process correctly, that's very helpful. And it's about saving you money. Some other items that I mentioned, we're kind of focusing on what's going on CPI, PPI. We're looking at rate and volume. Again, it remains a tug of war between them. And we're kind of hopefully winning that. And we're actually decreasing your interest volume. And, rate really doesn't matter if you're doing it properly, because you're going to eliminate the debt so much sooner that interest rate isn't the main focus. So we want to make sure we count on that. We invited you to our Tuesday night webinar, 6 p.m. Interest at aheadformoney.com. Reiterate, property taxes are late by December 10th. Make sure your impound account's set up correctly. So many things to consider, and it starts with you. Our number, 888-543-3980. Our show site, yourrealestatelife.com. You can get started in the loan process. You can go to unitedforloans.com, unitedforloans.com. As I say, we are for loans. We're just not for the interest that you're paying. It's very important you understand the terms of your loan to make sure you're not getting tripped up in those. Sometimes people have an interest-only ability. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they may even have a prepayment penalty. Some of these loans, some of the non-qualified mortgages, when it comes to investment property and others, may have either a 3-year, a 2-year, or 1-year prepayment penalty. So you want to make sure you operate within those timelines. Some of our clients had their prepayment of 1 year up just recently because it made sense on our math, seeing where rates were heading. We were putting them in for 1 year, knowing that they were not making other decisions. Now we're evaluating benefits of making that move. We're able to take the rate down because of the 1 year prepay, and it made sense. But locking to a 2-year or a 3-year prepay, the math did not make sense. You know, if you're on the wrong side of the decision, your lender loves you. And you just don't need that kind of love in your life. That's what I want to make sure we understand together. And we're able to make that decision together and understand the math so you come out ahead based upon your real estate life. If you're renting, you are making a mortgage payment. It's just not your own, it's your landlord's. So we want to show the benefits and see what we can do to get you in to own real estate and move forward with your real estate life. We have individuals that are putting 0% down, 3% down, getting grants, forgivable seconds. We have individuals that, of course, put more down, lower loan to values, more equity. But then I encourage you, if based on qualification, we get that line of credit to make sure we have that buffer behind. Now, back in 2008, we had the economic crisis where a lot of equity lines got shut down. What you owed is they shut it right behind and you didn't have any additional. And a lot of people were using it as lines of credit on their businesses and other things. And that became a dangerous item. So I'm talking about using it as a rinse and repeat method, but in some cases it is paying off other debts and other items, but doing it more efficiently. But it's having the right game plan and understanding of its use and not going overboard. We do have individuals that use an equity line as their first mortgage, and that is viable for some, depending upon the acceleration of what they're doing and how they're handling and the timelines. And you evaluate the economy and what the decisions are in this present world to decide what can and cannot be done for you. These decisions can be made, and it starts with you. 888-543-3980. I encourage you, Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. If you can't make that time, I understand. Let's set up a time and find out your why and see what we can do to guide you down the right road. But interest at aheadformoney.com will get you the invite, get you some information, get my calendar so we can schedule a time. If you go on Tuesday, fantastic. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think about the process of eliminating your debt sooner without changing your lifestyle. Don't have a lot to lose. You have a lot to gain. And we have many individuals who actually start referring other individuals to this because a lot of people have debt. Have you noticed that? Now, some people don't have debt, and that's fantastic. But you could pass that gift to others by helping them understand the process that you enjoy, not having that to be a burden on you. Now, listeners to our program include other professionals. We have insurance professionals, financial planners, we have CPAs, we have divorce professionals, we have realtors, we have other mortgage loan originators who are listening to our program today. Thank you so much. And in doing that, hopefully it sparked a few things here and there for you that you can do with your business and your clients, because they are your clients, and hopefully you do keep them. But having your own clients understand the concept of interest rate and interest volume, understanding how to value debt differently than others, paying off debt sooner so debt isn't as negatively looked at because you can actually take a positive approach to it and eliminate it sooner, could be the decision of that divorce and settlement that wasn't able to be reached. It could also be the way that you reach back to a past client Oh, I can't do anything for them. They're sitting at 3%. Not necessarily, because they're at 50, 60% interest volume on that payment. But if you can eliminate it in a third or half the time, it might be something to talk to them about. I'd like to talk to you. I want to arm you with this information so you can help your clients succeed. 888-543-3980. I'm helping people with interest rate versus interest volume in the Money Max account nationwide. If you're tuning in here on YouTube, I can help you in any state. I want to talk with you. 888-543-3980. If you're a realtor in Florida, you're a realtor in Rhode Island, you're a realtor in, I don't know, Indianapolis, I want to talk to you and help you with your past clients and activate those clients so they do more transaction work with you. Let's work together on helping you succeed by helping others do better. 888-543-3980. That's 888-543-3980. I reach one person at a time, hopefully a lot more here, but I want to make a difference and I want to help you do the same. I want you to be able to go back to your clients and help them buy more real estate, offer the ability to do others stuff to protect them, their family through real estate and, as I said, insurance. But also, if the time comes, it's being able to come up with that settlement of time and save money. All about your money. I'm Mike Harris, President and CEO of United Mortgage Corporation of America. It's been a pleasure to be here. Until next week, what kind of loan do you have?
United Mortgage Corporation of America, UnitedForLoans.com, will continue to take your calls after the program. Call now to start your home loan process at 888-5433-90.
You know, it's been a pleasure to be here this weekend. We talked about a lot of things, but really it's all about really organizing your finances. It's taking that interest footprint and reducing it. It's great, you're getting a loan, but let's figure out a way to get rid of it responsibly. Let's do that together. Join me on Tuesday night. Email me interest@aheadformoney.com. I'm going to personally respond to you. I want to talk to you about your real estate life and ways that you can succeed. Until next week, what kind of loan do you have?